Seniors, I am begging you to stop eating these 6 vegetables that are slowly damaging your heart. No, seriously. Every bite of these seemingly healthy veggies might be dragging your arteries down a slow, slippery slope. Your heart's ticking away like it always has, but the silent inflammation from these popular greens, it's turning your inner plumbing into a clogged-up mess. Spinach? Kale? Sorry, darlings, they might look innocent, but the oxalates inside? Yeah, they're like tiny glass shards dancing around your blood vessels. You probably won't survive this if you keep going all in on your morning green smoothie. Not to be dramatic or anything. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, pop into the comments and tell me where you're listening from and what time it is right now. I read every single one. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together.
You trudge into the kitchen. It's early. Your knees creak like they're narrating their own horror story, and your back reminds you that gravity doesn't take weekends off. You reach for the eggs. Reliable. Familiar. You've heard it 1,000 times. Protein for breakfast. Good for muscles. And sure, eggs have been your go-to since before remote controls had buttons. But here's the thing. Your muscles? They're not clapping for your effort. They're starving. After the age of 60, your body starts pulling a sneaky little trick. It gets stingier about building muscle. You can eat the same meals, do the same walks, even lift the same bags of groceries, but slowly, invisibly, your lean muscle begins to melt. It's called sarcopenia, and it's about as much fun as a dial-up modem. You notice it subtly at first. Getting out of a chair, slightly more grunty. Lifting that water bottle, oddly heavier. Bending down to tie a shoe, you're suddenly negotiating with your own hamstrings. And while protein is essential, not all protein is created equal. Eggs? Solid. But they're not the hero your body needs now. See, your muscles require leucine, a powerful amino acid that triggers muscle growth like flipping a switch. And after 60, you need more of it just to get the same results. Unfortunately, one egg only gives you about 0.5 grams of leucine, and you'd need roughly 3 grams of it per meal to start the muscle rebuilding engine. That's 6 eggs every meal. Imagine that cholesterol panel. Meanwhile, there's another issue. Your digestive system isn't quite as zippy as it used to be. The enzymes and acids that used to process proteins like a factory line, they're now working half days. That means even when you eat eggs, your body might not absorb enough of the good stuff to make a real difference. And this is when the slow fade happens. The muscles in your arms, legs, even your core begin shrinking quietly. But here's what no one tells you. You can stop this. You can even reverse it. But not with another sad, dry omelet.
Picture this instead. A food that packs more usable protein per gram than eggs, digests easily, doesn't spike your cholesterol, and has a leucine content that actually flips your muscle-building switch back on. And guess what? You've probably walked past it 100 times in the grocery store, rolled your eyes, and kept moving. Because it's not flashy, it's not trendy. No influencers are shaking it into their smoothies. But your muscles don't care about TikTok. They care about results. You start feeling the consequences of skipping this food more than ever. That moment when you go to reach up for a mug and realize your shoulder feels like it's auditioning for a horror film? Or when you sit down in a low chair and realize you're calculating the odds of getting back up without assistance? And here's a fun twist. The loss of muscle mass doesn't just affect your strength, it affects your balance. Yes, those little stumbles, that sudden need to grab onto the railing, they're not random. It's your muscles waving a white flag. But tonight, we're not just pointing fingers at breakfast. We're going deeper.
You're going to discover exactly what this mystery food is and how it beats eggs on every front when it comes to protecting your strength, stability, and independence. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. And this one food might just be the easiest nutritional upgrade of your life. So picture this. You, 30 days from now. Your legs? Firmer. Your balance? Surprisingly solid. That feeling of needing a nap at 10 a.m.? Gone. And all because you swapped one basic habit for something a little smarter. And if you're thinking, I'm too old for this muscle-building nonsense, I've got news for you. Age isn't the problem. Lack of information is. Because your body still wants to thrive. It's just been waiting for the right building blocks. And maybe, just maybe, you've been cracking the wrong shell all this time. So keep that fan humming. The fridge light flickers behind you. You're about to learn the one simple food that outperforms eggs and gives your muscles exactly what they've been begging for.
You've been told protein equals meat, eggs, maybe some peanut butter if you're feeling adventurous. But the truth is, the most powerful muscle-saving food after 60 isn't hiding in your skillet or buried beneath strips of bacon. It's something shockingly simple. Drum roll, please. It's cottage cheese. Yes, cottage cheese. You squint at the container in the back of your fridge. That sad little tub with a peel-off lid and the personality of a wet sponge? That's the one. The overlooked, underhyped dairy aisle underdog is packing a protein punch that most foods, eggs included, can only dream of. Here's why your muscles are practically singing the hallelujah chorus just thinking about it. 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese contains about 28 grams of protein. That's more than 4 eggs, without the same cholesterol load, and with a friendlier digestion profile for seniors. But what's even more exciting? That glorious leucine content we mentioned before. Cottage cheese delivers it in droves, around 2.6 grams per serving, which gets you ridiculously close to the 3-gram threshold that turns on your muscle-building engine. Add just a sprinkle of shredded almonds or a dash of nutritional yeast, boom, you've crossed the leucine finish line without breaking a sweat. But let's break it down even further. Why does this humble, lumpy hero work so well after 60?
Because your body needs slow digesting protein, especially at night when it's doing its best repair work. Cottage cheese is high in casein protein, which digests slowly over 6 to 8 hours. That means while you're off in dreamland, your body is steadily absorbing amino acids, repairing tissues, and yes, actually building muscle in your sleep. Think of it like a muscle IV drip. Eggs give you a quick hit, sure. But cottage cheese is the night shift. It sticks around, does the job, and doesn't demand applause. And if you're lactose sensitive, don't panic. Most people who struggle with milk do fine with cottage cheese because it's lower in lactose and easier on the stomach. Go for the low lactose or lactose-free varieties and you'll barely notice a difference, except in your strength. You might be wondering, why haven't I heard this before? Simple. Cottage cheese isn't sexy. It doesn't have a publicist. The marketing machine has focused on whey protein, collagen powders, or flashy muscle-building shakes that taste like liquid regret. But bodybuilders, fitness pros, even geriatric dietitians in the know. They've been pushing cottage cheese like it's backstage VIP. Let's talk numbers again. To get 28 grams of protein from eggs, you'd need to eat almost 5 eggs. That's 35 grams of fat. Over 460 calories, not to mention your arteries screaming in protest. But with 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese, 28 grams protein, 2 grams fat, 160 calories. Mic drop. And because it's soft, pre-chewed by the dairy gods themselves, there's no chewing war happening in your mouth. No dry, rubbery whites to choke down. It slides in, does the work, and exits like a gentle ninja.
Now, just imagine this becoming a nightly ritual. You're winding down, the fan's still humming, you grab your bowl of cottage cheese from the fridge, maybe add a few berries, a spoonful of chia, a dusting of cinnamon, because you're classy like that. It's not just dessert, it's defense.
Every bite is pushing back against frailty, wobbliness, muscle shrinkage, and that dreaded help me up moment after dropping the sock on the floor. But wait, there's more. Cottage cheese is also high in calcium, which supports bone health. And if you pair it with something rich in vitamin D, like a glass of fortified orange juice or a few minutes of late afternoon sun, you're double dipping in longevity. Some brands even sneak in probiotics, helping your gut stay balanced so it can better absorb the protein and nutrients you're feeding it. Who knew this lumpy legend was a multitasker? And here's where it gets fun. This isn't some hard-to-find, overpriced miracle food from the Himalayas. It's at your corner store. It's probably sitting in your fridge right now, just waiting to be taken seriously. Look, we're not saying eggs are bad. Eggs are fine, but they've had the spotlight for decades. Now, it's time to let teen curd step up. Because after 60, the food you eat needs to work harder, not just taste familiar. This isn't about throwing out your favorites. It's about upgrading your go-tos. You can keep the eggs, but now they've got competition. And you've got a secret weapon, one that doesn't require a blender, a recipe, or a 20-minute cook time. Just a spoon and a little curiosity. So the next time you feel like your muscles are slipping away while you're just trying to enjoy retirement, remember the tub in the fridge. That creamy, slightly tangy, wildly powerful food you've ignored since 1983? Yeah, that's your comeback coach, and it's not even charging you for the training.
It's 9:48 p.m. The dishes are done, your favorite chair has a fresh dent from your evening sit, and you're debating whether to eat something before bed. A bowl of cereal? Too sugary. A banana? Gone in 15 minutes. You hover by the fridge, considering a snack, and that's when it hits you. This is the exact moment your muscles are begging for help. Because while you sleep, your body gets to work, repairing, rebuilding, recharging. But without the right building blocks before bed, it's like asking a construction crew to fix your house without any lumber. They just sit around sipping metaphorical coffee, shrugging at your sagging strength. Meanwhile, your muscles quietly shrink. Enter the midnight snack plan. No, not a donut in the dark. This is the elegant, muscle-loving strategy of giving your body slow-digesting protein right before bed so it has fuel all night long. And guess what? Cottage cheese is the MVP of this entire game. Remember how we talked about casein protein earlier? It's the main protein in cottage cheese, and it digests slowly, up to 8 hours, feeding your muscles while you snooze. Think of it like time-release nutrition, not a protein bomb that burns out in an hour. Studies have shown that when older adults eat casein-rich foods before bed, they wake up with more lean muscle and less overnight breakdown. One small habit, one small bowl can literally shift your muscle trajectory back into growth mode. Now let's make this part easy. You're tired. You don't want a project. You want something you can eat with a spoon while wearing fuzzy socks. I've got you. Here's your Senior Strong Midnight Snack Plan. Base, 1/2 to 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese.
Add-ins, optional but fun. A few blueberries, antioxidants and sweetness. A spoonful of ground flaxseed, omega-3s and fiber. A sprinkle of cinnamon, blood sugar control and comfort. A teaspoon of raw honey, because you deserve it. Crushed walnuts or almonds, tiny leucine boosters. Stir. Enjoy. Put the spoon down with dramatic satisfaction. Feel smug knowing your muscles are clocking in for the night shift. But I don't like the texture, you cry out into the dark. Totally fair. Cottage cheese isn't winning any texture awards. So here's the workaround. Blend it. Toss it in a blender with a splash of almond milk and a dash of vanilla extract. Now you've got a high-protein mousse. Layer it. Treat it like yogurt. Layer with granola and fruit. Suddenly you're a gourmet. Season it. Skip the sweet and go savory. Add a pinch of garlic salt, chopped cucumber, or cherry tomatoes. Boom! Mediterranean vibes. You've got options, and they all lead to the same thing: muscle preservation through the night. Let's get a little sci-fi for a second. Imagine a slow-moving conveyor belt. On one end, you in bed, snoring softly. On the other end, tiny packages of amino acids steadily delivered, keeping your muscles plump and happy, while your neighbor's legs are quietly deflating due to their cookie addiction. This little snack also has one more superpower. It keeps you full. Ever notice those 2:30 a.m. hunger wake-ups where you're debating whether cold pizza is a good idea? With cottage cheese, those go away. You stay full, satisfied, and undisturbed. Oh, and it improves sleep quality. That's right. Casein also helps regulate tryptophan, which supports serotonin, which supports melatonin, which supports zzz. It's the domino effect of snooze success. Let's say you commit to this plan for 14 nights. That's it, 2 weeks. You'll notice less morning stiffness, easier time standing from a chair, a little more pep in your step. You might even race the dog up the stairs, who knows? And a quiet confidence in knowing you're taking care of your body in a way most people never even consider.
And listen, I'm not here to ruin your fun. If you want to enjoy a slice of cake now and then, do it. Life is short, and frosting is beautiful. But this one nightly habit, it's the easiest upgrade you'll ever make. Here's a fun bonus for the curious minds. Pairing cottage cheese with a resistance band workout during the day, that's when the real magic happens. Your body takes those amino acids and, thanks to the muscle wake-up call from light strength work, builds muscle faster. Even 10 minutes of band work can amplify the effects. And it's not just about muscle size, it's about function. You're not aiming to look like a Marvel superhero, unless you want to. You're aiming to keep your independence, to carry groceries without drama, to get up from the floor without planning it like a NASA mission, to open a jar without summoning your neighbor. Muscle equals freedom, and cottage cheese equals muscle. Who knew your bedtime snack could become the most important health decision of your day? Now the fan is still humming. You're full, but not heavy. Your stomach is content, your muscles are gently sipping their amino acid tea and nodding in gratitude. And you're heading into the best kind of sleep, the kind where your body isn't just resting, but quietly rebuilding you into something stronger.
You wheel your shopping cart into the grocery store like it's just another Tuesday errand. But little do you know, it's actually a battle scene. Silent, sneaky, and filled with traps in shiny wrappers. That yogurt section? A sugar minefield. The bread aisle? Full of empty promises and gluten-induced fatigue. And the so-called healthy protein bars? Oh, they're candy bars in disguise, flexing their 12 grams of soy isolate like that makes up for the 22 grams of syrup they're swimming in. You deserve better. Your muscles demand better. So let's fix that cart of yours. Here's the truth. It doesn't matter how many cottage cheese bowls you devour at bedtime if the rest of your day is secretly working against you. And it's easier than you think to fall into the trap. One bagel, one ultra-processed, high-protein snack, one sodium-packed frozen meal, and suddenly your body's not building, it's bloating. Let's start with the silent saboteurs, the foods that seem fine but quietly undermine muscle strength and function. 1. Low-protein breakfasts. Toast and jam? Coffee and a smile? Nope. Your muscles wake up starving after fasting all night. Starting your day with 3 grams of protein and a sugar spike is like giving your biceps a participation trophy. You need at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal to stop the muscle drain, and that starts with breakfast. 2. Whole grain imposters. Don't be fooled by the words whole grain slapped onto a box like it means something. Unless the ingredients list starts with 100% whole grain and isn't loaded with corn syrup, it's probably just white bread wearing a Halloween costume. 3. Vegetable oils and seed oils. Canola, soybean, and sunflower oils are in everything, from dressings to frozen dinners, and they promote inflammation. And inflammation, it blocks muscle recovery and contributes to fatigue. Swap these for extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, both of which support your heart and your muscles. 4. Sugar bombs disguised as healthy. Yogurt with fruit on the bottom, smoothies with 6 bananas, natural granola bars. Your blood sugar spikes and crashes harder than a toddler after cake. That roller coaster drains your energy and increases cortisol, which promotes muscle breakdown. We don't want that. You don't need that. Okay, deep breath. We're not here to guilt you. We're here to transform that cart into a muscle-saving machine. Here's what it should look like now.
Protein power players. Cottage cheese, obviously. Aim for plain, low-fat or lactose-free versions. Greek yogurt, plain, full-fat. Packs 15 to 20 grams of protein per serving. Canned salmon or sardines. Omega-3s and protein in one shiny tin. Chicken thighs. More flavor and better fat profile than breasts. Tofu or tempeh for your plant-based power moves. Eggs, still useful, just don't make them your only source. Leucine boosters. Lentils and chickpeas. Pumpkin seeds and almonds. Whey protein isolate, unsweetened, unflavored, perfect for smoothies. Parmesan cheese, surprisingly high in leucine and adds a punch of flavor. Fiber plus carb support. You do need carbs, just not the blood sugar crashing kind. Go for quinoa, sweet potatoes, steel-cut oats, Ezekiel bread, sprouted and satisfying. Colorful anti-inflammatories. Your muscles love a low-inflammation environment, so stock up on berries, especially blueberries. Dark leafy greens, arugula, dandelion, chard. Turmeric root or powder. Ginger. Beets, great for circulation. Fats that heal. Extra virgin olive oil. Avocados. Raw nuts and seeds. Fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel. Now, what about snacks? Look, you're human. You want a snack. The solution isn't to...
Look, you're human. You want to snack. The solution isn't to fight that urge. It's to outsmart it. You want protein-forward, blood sugar steadying, chew-worthy options. Muscle-friendly snacks to stock. A half a cup of cottage cheese with pineapple chunks. Hard-boiled eggs with a sprinkle of paprika. Roasted chickpeas. String cheese, mozzarella or cheddar. Protein smoothie with berries and flaxseed. Turkey or chicken roll-ups with mustard. And please, please stay hydrated. Muscle tissue is 75% water. Dehydration shrinks it faster than a microwave mistake. Toss a couple of electrolytes into your water bottle if plain water feels boring. Let's talk labels, too. You're not falling for marketing anymore. If a package screams high protein but has 19 grams of sugar, that's a no. If the ingredients list is longer than your last grocery receipt and you can't pronounce half of it, pass. Here's your golden rule. If it didn't exist 100 years ago, eat it sparingly. If your great-grandparents wouldn't recognize it as food, your muscles probably won't either. This isn't about restriction. This is about building a kitchen that supports the version of you who climbs stairs without bracing on both knees, who stands from a chair with ease, who doesn't hesitate to lift a grandchild or a watermelon. So, next time you're pushing that cart down the aisle, imagine it like a little parade float. Every item in it, a marching band member for your muscle health. They're waving tiny flags, they're playing upbeat music, they're proud to support your strength. And you're the grand marshal of this parade, with protein in your basket and power in your stride.
You've brought home your cottage cheese. You've stocked up on pumpkin seeds, sardines, and fancy olive oil like the absolute muscle-rebuilding champion you are. But now, there's a trap hiding where you least expect it. Your kitchen. Yep, the very place where you go to nourish your body might be quietly betraying you. Because even if you bought all the right foods, if you cook them wrong, store them wrong, or pair them with the wrong things, you're basically feeding your muscles a plate of unhelpful apologies.
Let's start with the hero of this journey, cottage cheese. It's perfect raw, straight out of the tub, no fancy prep needed. But what happens when you start getting curious? You bake it into something. You microwave it. You mix it with acidic fruits or hot sauces. Congratulations, you've just denatured your star protein. Now before you panic, denaturing isn't evil. It just means you changed the structure of the protein. But when you cook cottage cheese, or any high-protein food at high temperatures, you reduce its bioavailability. That means your body has to work harder to absorb the same nutrients. Here's the gentle rule: keep it cold or gently warm. Skip baking it into casseroles. Avoid zapping it into oblivion in the microwave. Stir it gently into already cooled meals or enjoy it plain. It's not fussy, but it is delicate. Next up, protein timing. You might be eating enough total protein throughout the day, but if you're stuffing it all into dinner like it's your final exam, you're missing the point. Your body doesn't hoard extra protein for later like a pantry squirrel. It uses what it needs in the moment and discards the rest. So here's the golden muscle-saving formula: 30 grams of protein 3 times a day.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Easy to remember. Harder to do if you've been trained to eat light early in the day and then feast like a Viking at night. But your muscles respond best to steady doses, not surprise dumps. Balance it out and you'll feel the difference fast. Now, about pairing foods. Some combinations amplify protein absorption, while others mess with the whole process. Here's how to pair like a pro. Do pair cottage cheese with fruit like berries or kiwi. These contain vitamin C, which helps your body absorb calcium and support recovery. Don't mix it with too much fiber-heavy roughage in the same sitting, like tons of raw kale. It slows digestion to the point that protein absorption becomes inefficient. Save your fiber bomb for a separate meal. And then there's the micronutrient mistake. You could be doing everything right, getting your 90 grams of protein a day, lifting soup cans, walking uphill both ways, and still not building muscle. Why? Because your body needs supportive nutrients to actually use protein. Think of it like baking. Protein is the flour, sure, but without baking soda, eggs, and heat, no cake. Here are the most important micronutrients your body needs to build and preserve muscle. Vitamin D helps synthesize protein and absorb calcium. Get it from salmon, egg yolks, or a few minutes in the sun. Magnesium supports muscle contractions and recovery, found in pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, yes, and leafy greens. Zinc, crucial for repairing muscle tissue, found in beef, oysters, and chickpeas. Potassium, maintain muscle function, bananas, sweet potatoes, avocados.
So if you're eating that perfect cup of cottage cheese but pairing it with a side of nothing, your muscles are basically waiting for their support staff to arrive. They're standing there in a hard hat, shrugging. Oh, and let's talk leftovers. Refrigeration habits matter. Cottage cheese left out too long? That's not just a food safety issue, it changes the protein structure. After 30 to 60 minutes at room temp, the casein starts breaking down. That doesn't kill it completely, but you lose some of the magic. Same goes for reheating chicken or fish in the microwave. High heat causes protein molecules to clump together, making them harder to digest and less useful. If you're reheating, do it gently. Use low settings, cover the food to retain moisture, and never cook it to dryness. Here's a bonus mistake to avoid: drinking caffeine with high-protein meals. Now, I'm not here to take away your morning coffee. Let's not start a riot. But caffeine can slightly inhibit calcium absorption and mess with how your gut processes protein. The fix? Drink your coffee 30 to 60 minutes before your protein-rich meal, not with it. Okay, now let's tie it all together. You're not just shoveling food into your mouth anymore. You're strategizing, you're optimizing, you're approaching every bite with the confidence of someone who knows they're feeding strength, not just satisfying hunger. You've learned how to preserve the protein power in cottage cheese by treating it gently, why spacing your protein across the day beats cramming it into one meal, which food combos give you better absorption and which to avoid, what micronutrients act as your protein's backstage crew, why your microwave might be quietly sabotaging your gains, and how to finally snack and cook with purpose. At this point, you're not just preventing muscle loss, you're flipping the switch. You're reprogramming your body to rebuild what time has slowly tried to erode. And guess what? Your next meal is now a tool, a choice, a signal to your body, I'm still here, I'm still strong, and I'm not done yet. You don't need a personal chef or a gym membership. You just need the right snack, a steady rhythm, and the will to cook with intention instead of habit. The kitchen is no longer neutral. It's your training ground. And that little tub of cottage cheese, still sitting quietly on the top shelf, still undefeated.
It's been 3 weeks since you made the switch. You're still you. Same chair, same fan humming at night, same coffee cup with the chip on the handle, but something feels different. You don't really notice it until you're walking up the stairs and pause halfway, expecting the usual twinge behind your knee. But it doesn't come. Instead, you keep walking. No deep exhale at the top, no thigh burn, no mental negotiation halfway up. That's the quiet power of consistency. And it all started with something as humble as a bowl of cottage cheese. This isn't magic. This is biology. When you start giving your body high leucine, high bioavailability protein multiple times a day, and especially before bed, it listens, it adapts. It stops breaking your muscle down and starts building it back up. You're not bodybuilding. You're life building. You're future-proofing. You're reclaiming what slow aging tried to erode when no one was looking. Let's paint the picture clearly. What actually happens when cottage cheese becomes your daily companion? 1. You start moving easier. Those micro muscle fibers you've been feeding night after night, they begin rebuilding, slowly, silently. They tighten up where things had gotten soft. They stabilize you as you walk, rise, carry, bend. Your hips ache a little less. Your posture straightens. That feeling of effort just to do regular life, it eases off. 2. You sleep better. With steady amino acid delivery from casein protein, your body no longer wakes you up at 3 a.m. with vague hunger or muscle discomfort. Sleep becomes deeper, more restorative. You wake up feeling like your legs haven't just aged another year overnight. They feel cooperative. 3. Your energy stabilizes. Suddenly, that afternoon slump doesn't hit the way it used to. You don't feel like collapsing on the couch at 2:30 with a sigh that rattles the windows. Your muscles, better nourished and supported, create more mitochondrial activity, which translates to more cellular energy. That's fancy talk for you've got more gas in the tank. 4. You feel stronger, literally. Not bodybuilder strong, not bench press your neighbor's car strong, but you can stand up from the couch without using your arms. You can carry 2 grocery bags instead of 1. You start lifting things without the unconscious fear of dropping them. Your grip strength improves. That's a big one. Grip strength is one of the most reliable predictors of longevity, and it increases when your muscles get better support, especially the little ones we often ignore. And maybe the biggest shift of all? 5. You stop second-guessing your body. A small trip used to send you into a tailspin. Now you recover your balance naturally. The floor used to look like enemy territory. Now you kneel down to pick something up and get back up without strategizing like you're invading Normandy. You remember how it used to feel, wobbly, unsure, fragile, and you realize that's not you anymore. All because of protein? Not quite. All because of the right protein at the right time, prepared the right way? Yes, 100 times yes. And it's not just the cottage cheese, though it's been your loyal nighttime companion through all of this.
It's the mindset shift that came with it. You've gone from reacting to decline to actively reclaiming control. You no longer accept that getting older means shrinking, tiring, fading out. Now you eat with intention. You move with purpose. You rest knowing that your muscles aren't wasting away in the dark, but being rebuilt. You've dropped the passive narrative and stepped into a daily rhythm of quiet power. And if someone asks what you're doing differently, you'll smile and say, "I started eating cottage cheese at night." And they'll laugh, and you'll laugh too, because they don't realize just yet that this one small thing changed everything. They don't know that behind that lumpy spoonful was a strategic strike on frailty, imbalance, and dependence. But you do. And every night, as you sit quietly under that fan, bowl in hand, lights dimmed, you feel it, that deep cellular knowing that you're getting stronger, not by chance, but by choice.
And now, the kitchen is quiet. The lights are low, your muscles, newly fed, are beginning their nightly restoration. You breathe deeply, slowly, gently. The kind of breath that tells your body it's safe, that tonight everything it needs has already been given. The amino acids are flowing. The rebuilding has begun. There's nothing left to do. Your muscles, grateful for the steady care you've offered, begin their silent work. Not flashy, not loud, but transformative. The kind of change that sneaks up on you, one easy night at a time. Feel your shoulders soften, your jaw unclench. Let the thought of progress drift like a feather across your mind. Not heavy, just there, comforting. This isn't a sprint. It's a quiet, unhurried reclaiming of strength. Your habits are different now. You don't chase youth, you nurture vitality. With every thoughtful snack, every gentle choice, every spoonful of purpose, you rewrite your story. And that version of you, the one moving easily, sleeping deeply, rising without worry, that's not a fantasy. That's just you a few weeks from now, if you keep going. So close your eyes now. Let that fan hum, lull you further into rest. You've done more than enough for today. Tomorrow's strength is already on its way. End of script. Sweet dreams.